We're live. We did it.
Good evening. I'm only 3 minutes late this time.
Which is, I feel like, pretty good for us.
Yeah, not bad. Better than last time.
Yeah. Dang. Okay. Is it 10 where you are too, Cam?
Yeah, but that's pretty early for me, so that's all right.
Jeez. Yeah, it is 7 a.m. here, and I am almost 5 hours deep into this, and I have 3,000 words. I just passed the 3,000 word mark. So
that's pretty good. It's good momentum.
Yeah, we shall see. Hello, everyone. Got Miguel. We got Hillary. Nina's here. Sherry. Hello. So everyone, let us know what you're working on. Cam, what are you working on?
I am going to try and finally finish at least one of the short stories that I've been putting off for ages, because I've got like this collection of horror short stories. I've just learned recently it's not an anthology if it's one person. So I've been making myself sound like an absolute idiot for God knows how long, being like, yeah, I'm writing an anthology, and everyone's like, oh, who else is involved? And I'm like, no, it's just me. Anyway, apparently it's called a collection. I should know that, being a writer. But I'm doing a collection, and I've got like 2 short stories that are 3/4 done, and I just need to finish those 2, and then I can finish the first draft.
Heck yeah. How many are you hoping to have in total in your collection?
At the moment, it looks like I've got about 12, so I think nearly 10 of them are like first drafts done. Some of them I think are pretty good. Not to toot my own horn, but I think they're pretty good. I was reading them back last night, and one in particular creeped me out enough that I had to sleep with the TV on. So I was like kind of surprised.
I mean, mission accomplished. That's awesome.
I'm excited. How's your rewrite going?
You know, it's going okay. I am still on chapter 2. I guessed that I would get like 10,000 words today and try and get through 4 chapters, but I forgot that this chapter 2 is all 3,000 words have been in chapter 2. So it's, you know, it's going. It's just taking a little bit longer than I thought it was going to. And I've had to change a little bit of the world building, which is fun. So, you know what? It's going good.
Someone asked me recently, how long do you think a chapter should be? I'm interested to get your opinion on that.
It depends. Like, I feel like that's the cop-out answer, but it's also just genuinely how I feel. I have some stories that are that have really long chapters. All of them are longer, and then some of them where I love a good 1-page chapter. I'm all about that. So I like reading them just to like mix it up a little bit. I'm like, oh, shit's about to go down if there's only 1 page in the chapter. So
I know a lot of people that hate 1-page chapters, but I think it's funny.
What? Yeah, no, I get why people might not like them, but I write for me first, and I like it.
Yeah, of course. It's just people being like pedantic, and that, to be fair, that's mostly people in like fantasy fiction, where I guess it makes a little bit more sense. But
yeah,
I agree. I think it depends. I think it comes down to like the pacing, because a short chapter usually is a fast pace, like, you know, chapter. Like, you can't have like a lot of character development in like, you know, 3,000 words or whatever.
Yeah.
But you can have one hell of a fight scene in that many words.
Yeah. I think mine probably average out to be 2,000 to 4,000. I don't know. Well, that's
I'm around 5,000. Yeah.
Are you? Okay. How long are your short stories usually?
Anywhere between 5,000 to 10,000 words.
Okay.
I think, yeah, that fits me well.
Gotcha.
I've got a novella I'm adding into the collection as well, though, and that one's probably going to be around like 20,000.
Okay. That's what I was about to ask, how you define a novella too then. Because I know short stories are weird where there's, especially if you get up to the 10,000, I'm like, it's not yet at novella, but there's like a weird line between there.
Yeah, it's weird. I think like in the technical sense, it's anything above 10,000 words, but I think it depends on the story too.
Yeah,
like, you can just tell when a story is like a short story, you know?
Yeah. And do you have a preference at this point, since you're doing short stories? So you've published your novel. And then you have your short story collection that you're working on. Do you have a preference?
Not an anthology, yes, collection.
Yes, not an anthology. That's what I'm now correcting it in my brain because I guess that makes sense. Like when I'm looking at the short stories, the collections, and the anthologies I have, I guess that's true. But
I feel really dumb because I've been saying it for like over a year, and because I'm in an anthology, Local Haunts. That is technically an anthology, but I've been calling my like thing I'm working on now an anthology for so long, and I probably should have just not said anything. I probably should have just pretended I knew what I was talking about, but it must have sounded so dumb. But yeah, my preference is probably short stories.
Really? Does it feel like a thing that kind of fluctuates depending on what you're working on, or do you think it's just you like?
I feel like you would relate well with this because you're always working on different stuff, as far as I can tell.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, short stories, I feel like I'm not saying they're any easier, but there's definitely like a quicker sense of accomplishment, if that makes sense. Like you can see your progress a lot quicker. Not that that's the only good thing about it, but you can also be a lot more creative with short stories. You don't have to be too serious.
Yeah, I do think you get a lot more wiggle room and different stuff to play around with. And it's easier to do certain concepts in short story format.
Yeah, you can get some real goofy stuff done. You're not going to get people to commit to an 80,000 word book about some really silly thing, but they're usually willing to read like a short story.
Yeah. Would you ever do like non-horror short stories?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know how I'd do with it. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Horror really does lend itself to short stories well.
It's perfect for short stories. If anything, it's easier because like the novel I did was a psychological horror, and that was so hard, so difficult, just because you got to keep people scared the whole time, you know?
Yeah, I was going to say the tension you have to keep, just kind of underlying fear the whole time. That would be
You've done some short stories, haven't you? You put one up publicly recently, I'm pretty sure.
I did, yes. And I do really like short stories. They're really fun. But I guess I don't know that I'd ever be able to do quite enough to make a collection. Like I'm trying to think of, I don't know that I'd be able to do like, I don't know that I could tie it across a theme, you know?
I don't think themes are that important, to be honest.
Okay.
At first, my theme for my I was about to say anthology again. For my collection was going to be it was going to be like my own personal phobias, because that's what I was basing them off. Like there was a short story on claustrophobia and then another one on like the deep ocean, just stuff that scares me personally. But then I had an idea for a short story that had nothing to do with that, and I'm like, well, I have to put it in, and then it just went completely off the rails. So.
Yeah, that's kind of fun though. I feel like there's not a single project I've started that I didn't have one idea of it going into it, and then the actual end result is completely different than what I expected.
I really want to do a like kind of like Regina from Regina's Haunted Library did. I want to do an anthology made up mostly of like author tubers. Just like not necessarily the horror genre, because like I said, Regina's kind of done that one already, but I thought it'd be fun to get a bunch of author tubers involved.
I am still so on board for this. I'm sure the organizing aspect takes a lot, but
I'll finally be able to like put you in a corner and say, publish something.
I know. Get it down. Okay, let's see. Oh, poetry collection, which I guess also is a collection. I'm gonna figure out what all of these are called now. Shay's hoping to finish Penelope's Curve collection. Heck yes. Let's see. Haley says I've been upping my revised chapters to 10K. Holy crap. How many chapters are in your books, though?
That's pretty long as far as the chapter goes, but not like in a bad way, because there's a lot of authors that have really long chapters and they do it really well.
Oh, yeah. Well, plus I feel like depending on how many scenes you have per chapter, it's not like there's not more breakpoints.
Yeah, especially if your story takes place in very few locations. Usually it'll like be really long chapters.
Yeah. Okay, Charlotte, I did not know about this.
Oh, neither did I.
That's awesome. I
Season
will.
of Darkness. I'm gonna Google it right now.
I know. We will look this
That's
up.
great. Because it's such a like I think it's such like an underutilized like thing to do on YouTube in general. We have like all these writers in a community all writing at the same time, doing NaNoWriMo and stuff together. But up until like last year, I hadn't seen at least many people like doing stuff together.
Yeah, yeah. Or if you are doing stuff together, it tends to be like one video, which is still fun,
Yeah.
but it's yeah. You'd think when we're basing it around writing, we'd be able to write something together too.
Yeah, get some stuff out.
Let's see. Okay, well, Cam, are you ready to do a sprint?
Sure.
And do you have any preference for length of sprint?
I'm gonna leave that one in your court.
Okay. Well, that just means that we're going chaos. So here's where I
Okay, is
left.
it you or Brooke that prefers longer or shorter?
I'll make that a little bit smaller. Brooke really likes the long ones. I've been trying to do like shorter ones, but I've been trying to push myself. But what we did earlier was we've been doing dice rolls to determine how long we sprint for. So
You're turning this into like a whole game show just to figure out how long you want to write for.
okay, so apparently, let me show you.
Which I'm down for, by the way.
There's a spinner option that you can do that I did
So
earlier
interactive.
too, and we could really make it be a game show. You said that once, and it has been in my brain this whole time, having like an AuthorTube live game show kind of thing. And I'm just like, how could we do this? And I'm gonna figure something out eventually.
You would be the perfect host for that as well.
If
If anyone does that, it has to be you.
I'm very excited. I just have to, put it all together.
Because you're really good with like all the like audio visual stuff, like graphs and all
No,
this.
thank you. I don't know how good I am on lives trying to do it, but I would be very excited. We'll come
figure
up
it
with
out.
something. Yes, but okay, we're not going to spin. We're going to roll a die. And I think to start, we're going to do 3 of them. I will re-roll for those who are used to this kind of chaos. So basically, this means our sprint can be anywhere from 3 minutes to like 18 minutes to start. And then we'll just incrementally add a dice as we go. Okay.
Feels like Dungeons and Dragons or something.
It is kind of, yeah. We're going for it. 11 minutes. See how perfect.
That's a good start, I think.
I think so too. The only problem now is I keep having to share different screens so that it works, but that's more of a user issue. Okay.
Maybe you need to hire a team. Just behind the scenes with like a switchboard and all that.
Yeah. I still want on Twitch, like one day I'm gonna get a second camera and just have a dog cam.
A dog cam.
Yes.
It's a good idea.
Okay, we're gonna do one more. Let's make that bigger. Okay, I hope you guys are ready. 11 minutes and 11 seconds. We're gonna sprint.
Good luck.
Yes, good luck. Right. Okay, that's time. Let's see. How did everyone do? How'd you do, Cam?
Ah, terribly. No, I
Oh
do all right. I could probably write like 3 words and still give myself a pat on the back, to be honest.
Like, I've done it. They were a good 3.
A beautiful 3. How did everyone in the chat go?
Yeah, I'm seeing Hell's Mirror. My planning for the scene ended in a battling migraine, so not super well. Oh no! Hopefully you feel better soon. 101 words.
Whoever wrote the most words gets $300 from Kate.
I have no way of transferring it to you. Don't worry about it. 547. Looks like it might be Sarah. Dang. Okay, the chat.
Better get that wallet out.
Flying. I know. 201, 388, 8952. My goodness.
500 is a lot for 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's super impressive. Alvin got half a scene.
So everyone with less than 500 words, you should be ashamed of yourself.
How dare you? See, this is how I'm wondering how a game show would work, right? Like, I'm thinking I could do a poll. We could have a segment where it's like other author tubers have to guess the numbers.
Right.
Could be fun. Or do you do a sprinting competition? Or like a flash fiction competition live? That might be too much pressure. People might not want to do that.
I got a good idea for a round you could do. I like thought it up a while ago when I was thinking about game show stuff. You could do one where you give them prompts, and whoever pitches you the best story, like they don't write anything, they just have to give you a story pitch with the prompts that you gave them, and whoever gives the best one, wins or whatever.
Yeah,
I thought that'd be fun.
Yeah. Prompts, pitch challenges. There are options.
There's so much you can do.
290.
You'd have to force people to be creative.
530. Who are you people? Oh, thank you, Eva. Project for uni. Yes, Charlotte, we will count them. Freelancing stuff. That's exciting. Dang, y'all.
Very nice.
Yeah, well, I just finished hour 5 of the Writeathon. That's what.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Cam and I were talking about how he inspired me to do the Writeathons way back when, but Cam decided to take it to like another level that I frankly refuse to do.
Well, to be fair, I didn't do it that well. I didn't plan it out very well.
Well, but so Cam's thing was he was just gonna sit there and do the thing for however long, right? Like you were.
Which, in retrospect, it's just not possible. Like you just can't sit there for 24 hours and just write. That you just can't do it. Like it's literally not. Even Elizabeth Irwine remembers in the chat. She said that time Cam made it 12 hours. Yeah, I made it 12 hours, and honestly, I don't even want to give myself that. I don't think I made it 12 hours. I think I made it like 8 hours, and I dragged myself the last 4 hours.
Like, just go.
I was just sitting there like...
If you planned it or planned a little better, would you ever attempt it again that way?
I think not in the same way, but doing the 10-hour live stream did teach me a lot as well. And that one thing I would definitely do differently, I wouldn't do it in like one office like I did here, because I did it here because it was like live streaming. But I would find a way to live stream where I can move around with a laptop. Would make it a lot easier, because that was the main thing that made me nauseous, is like after 10 hours, even like, after 8 hours or something, when I did the live stream, I just felt sick because I was just sitting here in front of the screens for however long. And like, I work in front of a computer for like 8 hours a day. So I thought it wouldn't be a problem, but something when you're like trying to be creative and stuff as well, it's just a lot more exhausting.
It really is so exhausting. That's what
Hmm.
I have done various experiments where I'm trying to like time track stuff and see, and I'll feel just as like mentally exhausted after a day as I used to at my old corporate job, but the collective hours is actually significantly
Yeah.
less. Where I'm just like, but then what was I doing all day? But it just feels as tiring coming up with like 3 new chapters or something. I'm just like,
Yeah,
what is
people underestimate it, like how taxing it is to brainstorm and stuff.
Well, and that's why I'm so impressed by everyone who's, I mean, like you, for instance. So you're working your, I'll say day job, even though I don't really like using that term, but like you're working your day job, you're then making videos and you're writing. Like, I mean, that's a lot of computer time.
I'm really flattered you put it like that, and you make it sound very impressive, but it's a lot less graceful in real life. I promise you. I'm scraping through.
I feel like that's true of everything, though. It is
Yeah,
less graceful.
as long as
Oh,
it looks good when I put it out into the public, that's all that matters.
that's what matters. Yeah. Just stream all day, every day. Oh, gosh.
Get a Truman Show thing going. I see that.
Yeah. Yeah. I take my breaks by crocheting because it's mostly muscle memory and I can brainstorm while I do it. Yeah, I think that's a you get to
Yeah,
do
that's a
two
good
great.
point.
Okay. Well, we're powering through. I'm going to have to figure out how many words I'm at. Let's see. 3,392 for the day. Whew. All right. Are you ready for
Need to
another
bump
sprint?
those numbers up. We
I
want another
know.
1,000 words in this sprint.
Don't hold me to this. I feel like that needs to be part of the game show too somehow.
How many
Okay.
words do we want people in the chat? Give her a number, and she has to hit it.
Everyone has to keep sprinting until I hit the number.
Exactly.
That would be miserable.
And if you don't hit the number, everyone unsubscribes at the exact same time.
Hit the button, I dare you. Okay, we're gonna add the 10. We're gonna re-roll, but now basically it's what 4 to 28 is our option. So we'll see how we do. Oh, Keelan's here. Hi, Keelan. I've done 10K live streams and literally am dead for the night. Yeah, I don't know how you guys do those. How? I'm at the point where I feel like I can't do 10K days anymore, even though I'm at 3,000 for today. But I feel like
Is that like streaming until you hit 10,000 words?
that's what it sounds like.
That's
to
crazy.
Me. Yeah, that sounds like, I mean, it sounds really cool, but it also sounds awful.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be honest, that sounds terrible.
14. Not significantly higher. Book writer was magic. Yeah, see, some of y'all guessed it. Also, rude. Never again. Okay, let me stop sharing that screen. Start sharing a different screen. It's fine. Hope you guys are ready. We're gonna get started. You ready, Cam?
Ready to go.
All right. On your marks. Get set. Right. All right, that is time. On our second sprint, I forgot to put that up there.
All right.
How'd you do? Was this better than the first one?
Slightly.
Okay.
Still in the warming up stage, let's just say.
Yes, yes.
How'd you do?
I did pretty good. I'm at the point where I think I might have mentioned something already. And I'm trying to decide if I need to take it out this time or if it's like just enough hints. So
Right. Do you have like a phrase or like some kind of prose that you find yourself repeating a lot? Because I found one in particular that I somehow inadvertently, I think, have put in like every single short story I've written.
Really? Is it like a phrase?
It's like a descriptive phrase, yeah.
Oh, okay. What is it?
Well, do you have one first? I want to make sure I'm not crazy.
I say I have a crutch word. I use just way too much. Just back, like they turned back around or whatever. I have crutch words. I don't know that I have a phrase that I use repeatedly, but I'm sure I do. I just don't know what it is yet.
Mine is, and I'm sure I would have put this somewhere in my book as well, is when I'm describing blood, I always say it was so dark it was almost black. Just because, like, I think I said it once and I was like, oh, that's so true. Blood is very dark. It's much darker than people think. Because it is. It, like when you see a lot of blood in one place, usually it is so dark, it's almost black. But I was reading back through my short stories and I found it like 3 or 4 separate times. And I was like, oh my God, I can't keep saying that.
I have to remove it. Their eyes widened. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's a fair. A lot of people say that too much, to be fair.
Yeah, that's what there is that interesting thing where there's only so many ways you can describe a certain movement or a certain expression, but I do see what you're saying, especially like an analogy that's used too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite is probably releasing a breath you didn't know you were holding. It's just beautiful.
It really is. I like the evolution of that though.
Yeah.
Now people have been changing it, so they still keep it sort of, but they're like, she let go of the breath. She knew she was holding her breath. She
People
finally
try to get clever with it now.
Yeah. Rushed, grabbed. Oh, it's not snowing right. Without realizing it or something similar.
I think I do that one a lot as well. Or I use the word feeling a lot, or feel. Like if I'm describing what's happening in a character, I'm like, the character felt like blah, blah, blah. It is just bad practice.
Yeah. Yeah. At least that one you can like control find and just know that you need to replace it with something more descriptive.
That's a beautiful thing though. First drafts can be crap.
They can be terrible.
You just fix it.
Yes. That's what, yeah, mine's usually reactions to someone else where the person's not saying something, but I just use like a shrugged or sighed too much. Stop.
You know what I think it is? I think it's because the whole advice expression of, show don't tell, it gets hammered home a bit too much, in my opinion. I don't know if this is a hot take, but I think some people take that expression way too seriously, both writers and reviewers. And they think in a lot of cases, I think in a lot of cases, it is better just to say what's happening rather than having to show everything with like some elaborate, explanation kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
I see, and I think that's one of those things that can come down to the pacing of the story or what you need to get across really quick. So sometimes, it's good to describe it and show it instead, but other times just say the thing and move on and go. Like if there's too much happening, I don't need you to show me every single element of it. Some stuff can be told and I won't feel like I'm getting told.
Exactly.
Yes, lips into it.
He does. Yeah.
Return the smile. Yeah. Oh, gosh.
I think I have a lot in common with Shay with the hobbies, to be honest, because I do that as well.
I do too. I also love Nikki. My character is wink too much. I cannot tell you how little people wink in real life, but I use wink too much too. I'm like, oh, this person's really cheeky. I guess they wink a lot. I'm like, who are these people?
Because it's not an insta romance if one of them winks at the other one first, okay? That's development.
Okay, I love a good balance of showing versus telling.
Yeah, I agree.
Keelan's agreeing. The show don't tell thing is such a balance. Too much show, you can actually lose the plot. Yeah.
That's how it goes with like literally every piece of writing advice, in my opinion. There's usually a balance. That's why you can't take any advice as an absolute truth.
Yeah.
Within reason, obviously. I'm sure there's some stuff.
Show us emotions. Tell us the scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to think about it for a little bit, but yeah. Does that work out well for you, Luke?
Yeah. If you are the romance character, just winking at everyone over here. Chase says it's so hard to strike that balance in short stories. I feel like sometimes your telling it is perfect for the story. That's a good point too. Novels, you can get away with a lot more showing because you have so much more word count. Whereas I find with short stories, I have to pick like the perfect verb. Like I'm just trying to condense everything to make it tighter and go a little bit quicker.
Yeah, I agree. I think in short stories, generally speaking, obviously not every time, but I think in short stories, it's usually a lot more about the story and the setting rather than the characters, whereas novels, for me, are usually more character-driven.
Yeah, or you can't show growth as easily. I think that's what it tends to be.
It's very rare you'll get like a full character arc in a short story, because that's just extremely difficult to do, really.
Yeah, it feels so much more concept-driven than...
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. It's better than the rambling I did. Regina says, do you find yourself showing more than telling in your horror? Honestly, I have no idea. That's why,
if anyone has read Cam's book, now is the time to tell.
Yeah.
Go
ahead and just let me know. Yeah, I haven't read the reviews, but I'm sure if you check the reviews, people might let you know. I don't know.
Well, hopefully. Have you thought about getting friends to send you good reviews? I know some people can read all their reviews. Most people say don't read any.
Yeah, that's a good question for you as well. How do you feel about like author? Not to get into a whole like discussion about authors talking to reviewers. I don't want to do that, but like, how do you feel about authors reading their reviews? Because I'm like kind of conflicted. I feel like it's almost literally the best way for an author to know what they're doing or how they can improve. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I've just seen a lot of stuff on Goodreads that's not constructive at all. It's just mean.
Yeah, no, I think it's hard because also reviews usually aren't meant for the writer anyways. Like they're meant for other readers to tell them what I did and didn't like. And I think if you get enough of them saying the same thing, that can be helpful for writers. But so many people, like even if I give stuff to beta readers, like 50% of the time, only, a handful of them will comment on the same thing. But then the other handful of people were fine with it. So I'm like, okay, they all had an issue with this, but then their issue that they pinpoint is different. Whereas as the writer, I'm like, okay, if I fix this one thing, it might fix that. I think they're enough to say something, maybe.
I'm kind of in the middle in that whole regard. Like, there's people that say reviews are only for reviewers and not authors at all. And then there's people that are like, oh, authors absolutely have every right to get involved, blah, blah, blah. I'm kind of in the middle where I think I don't think, how it's like death of the author versus authorial intent or whatever. I feel like the author shouldn't be disqualified from joining conversations about something that they put that much work into as soon as they publish it. I feel like they should still be allowed to join in conversations about something that was very personal to them, but at the same time, it's a whole thing. Anyway, at the risk of getting into too much of a
no, I love that. I have watched so many videos about that recently in the booktube world. Yeah, I'm over here like, this is the exact conversation. Yeah, no, I don't know where I feel about that. I don't know at what point it's like the author just needs to like shut up or when they can chime in with something. I think it's hard. Plus, then you don't case to case. Yeah, who do you alienate? And I do wonder though, with Jennifer's question, if this doesn't change a little bit. Like for indie authors, I feel like reviews tend to be. I mean, reviews are always important, but I feel like for indie authors, reviews are much more important than for traditionally published authors. So
yeah, I agree, because you don't usually have a team of people from like a team of professional people around you, like doing that work for you, basically.
Yeah. You're so much more involved that I could see the, reviews being much more of the feedback that you might need. Whereas in TradPub, you have a whole team of people where this is their job, exclusively telling you that your book is, commercially viable, or so they thought. Yeah. And then at that point, it's like, what do you do with the reviews after? Well, an entire team put money into my book. So I don't know.
I think the simple answer is that it's very complicated. There is never a simple answer to any of these conversations.
Yes. But we'll finish off that part of the conversation with Shay said, being a writer has changed how I review. I review how I would want to hear as a writer. I don't just say I don't like it. I say where it dragged for me and what kept me from connecting and whatnot. See, I think that's interesting too.
I think as long as you're not being a dick about it, because there's a lot of people on Goodreads that like try and be like funny and mean and like just cruel. And it's like, you can be funny with your review, but don't be a jerk,
Yeah.
I feel like there was a question that spurred that whole conversation that we probably didn't even answer.
That we just breezed right past.
The whole conversation probably had nothing to do with the original question anyway.
That's fine. I feel like that's how live streams go. If anyone remembers and you care, you can tell us.
It's the beauty of it. These conversations, pop out of nowhere.
That's right. Not scripted. Okay. We're going to add another dice. And I will re-roll. Especially because I feel like we've been doing really short ones. So, I don't know. I keep adding this incorrectly, but anywhere from 5 minutes to like, what is that, 40? So got a wide gap. 40. I think so. It could be really high. Let's see. Oh, I feel like we could talk about reviews for so long. Like all of these are.
It's a really fascinating conversation. That's what I mean. I hate that in so many instances it has to be so like volatile because there's a lot of value in talking about it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, we're going to roll the dice and see. 20 minutes. These are just really small ones. That's okay. Let me share my other screen. Timer. Okay. All right. Cam, are you ready?
Yep, 20 minutes, sure.
20 minutes. Let's do it. All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Am I in charge now? Is that what's happening?
Sorry. Yep, I put you in charge. Let me see if I can share the screen.
Nice
Timer's
work.
still going, people. You have 5 minutes left.
You're trying to lose all your subscribers or something? No one wants to see that.
Oh man. Okay, that's time. Well, how'd you do other than taking over the stream for, 5 seconds?
Yeah, I didn't get much done because, I was looking after the stream while you were gone. I
You
was
were working
keeping
hard.
everyone in line.
That's right. Yeah.
Just, I'm just looking out for you, trying to make sure.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
No, I did all right. How'd you go?
Pretty good. I'm at the part where I shockingly had very little stuff to change, which always feels nice. Plus it's there's not to toot my own horn also, but there's parts where I'm just like, you know what, this is pretty good, which is a nice balance between the pages where I'm like, this was terrible. So
I love that we as writers set the bar where we praise ourselves even a tiny bit as tooting our own horn.
yeah. That's a good
Anything
point.
above self-deprecation is just,
It's
I don't want to get too ahead of myself. But
right. Yep.
you know what's funny to do after you finish a sprint that people really love? I think I told you this last time, but if you say pencils down, guaranteed crowd pleaser.
That's no. That is take us all back to the terrible days. Word vomit outlining. And and you're drafting, is that right? Because you're trying to finish up some stories.
Outlining usually is word vomit, to be fair.
Yes, it is for me.
That's how it should be, really.
Do you outline your short stories, or do you just kind of go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of have to outline everything I do, to be honest.
Oh, all right.
I've tried winging it before. Usually what happens is I'll outline just to give myself, the skeleton of what I want. And then while I'm doing it, it'll, go off on its own direction.
Yep. It's honestly rude of you.
See, I knew people love it.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, that's what we have. Some Australians leaving us. Good night.
It's only 11:30.
That's
Weak.
No.
It's a Friday. It's not even a work night.
That's what. Okay, Elizabeth says my short stories go much better when I do outlines like that too. Yeah.
Although it's a lot easier to outline a short story, obviously.
It is, yeah. Well, I was actually thinking that I was trying to think back to how I tend to write short stories, and I think it's one of the few things that I always do an outline just because there's not enough room for me to go in a crazy direction. I'm like, no, I'm trying to tell one thing, so I need to kind of structure it.
Yeah, most times I've seen a short story fail is usually when they try to add in too many subplots or something like that.
Yeah, you can't do it.
Mm.
Or when there's too many characters, which is something I've struggled with. Where I'm like,
I usually try to stick to 2 or 3 major characters. It's okay if there's a few extras.
Yeah. Heather officially hit her word count goal from 2 days ago. That's all right. You're catching up.
Still, congratulations.
Yes. Omi's at 20K on the romance novel. Heck yes.
Pretty good. It's a good milestone.
Oh, how do you describe the view from a griffin's back?
I mean, it would be mostly feathers, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I think.
You could see some of the outline of the head. What's happening? What else is happening?
That's a loaded question. Just watch that bit from Harry Potter where he jumps on the hippogriff thing.
Yeah. Outlined. Yeah. Oh, Be Kind Rewind gives me bigger flashbacks. What a time to be alive that was.
Is that the Jack Black movie?
We had at Blockbuster where you could go rent VHSs.
Okay.
It would say Be Kind Rewind on them. So that, unless they're referencing something else, but that's what I remember from Stewie.
Gotcha.
Confusion.
I'm always confused. You Americans are always talking about some weird stuff.
That is what I love about AuthorTube and the internet, but just how global it is and all the new sayings I have learned.
It's great. I am in one of my last streams. I don't know how I got talked into it, but I was doing like different accents and stuff. Obviously, just the ones that are okay to do as an Australian, but which is pretty much just English and American, to be honest. But yeah, and I was doing like a really bad English accent, and then Luke popped in, who was like an English YouTuber. He was pointed out immediately how bad it was.
Like, that's the worst thing I've ever heard. Do you want to? We need Brooke on here when we finally do our drinking video or drinking live stream together, which I don't know how we'll have to do. We'll have to do it on a weekend or something, since the time zone changed. But you could easily convince her to do some accents.
Yeah, I reckon like a few shots and she'll be good to go. Probably won't be able to stop her.
Oh yeah. Fact. Yes.
I don't blame Americans for having a bad Australian accent though, because there's so few Australian accents in the media. So,
well, let me tell you.
Media anyway. You've got Hugh Jackman and Liam Hemsworth. And that's about it. Chris Hemsworth. Sorry.
British accent is one of the best. Don't tell her that, please. It'll get so much worse.
I think I heard her doing that, and it wasn't very good. It was worse than mine, and that's saying something.
I need to take a picture. Oh, no, I don't have my phone. Okay. I was like, oh, I do. I'm going to have to text this to Brooke. I'm over here like, don't encourage her. I will encourage her. Okay.
Are you vlogging your 24-hour thing?
I am. I don't do as much when I'm on the stream though, because I'm like, worst case scenario, I can just take the recording of the stream and find the good stuff. So yeah, I do have my camera closer than my phone. So I'll have to get you to wave later at some point.
Finally make it into one of your famous vlogs.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. When you were in the zone, I definitely zoomed in on you and I was like, look at Cam, hard at work.
Oh, when I was sitting there looking like dopey or something.
Well, that's the thing about the vlog.
That's all right.
No.
Nah, I can't do it. It's too many people in here. I'll offend at least a few people. Just imagine like the worst Cockney, like it's a mix of like Monty Python and like Mighty Boosh. It's really not great.
Well, I'm very excited.
I'll do it next time.
Okay, we're gonna do one more sprint, depending on what it ends up being. So let me share my screen again, and we're gonna keep adding dice, but like, see, at this point it's a 20, and that's kind of scary. So we're gonna basically roll until I get what I want. This is the new chaos. Welcome.
6 dice.
Yeah. Are you ready, Cam?
Oh, I don't know. Let's see what we get first.
That's kind of a long one. Hold on. Oh, no, that's worse. Wait for it. Okay, that feels doable. You guys, 3rd time's the charm. This is my 3rd 24-hour write-a-thon, 3rd roll. We got a good number, okay? We're going to do 27. Hope y'all are ready because it's going to happen. Although I have to stop sharing my screen and then reshare it, but it's fine.
Anyone who gets less than 300 words done gets kicked from the stream.
Do you want to hold yourself for that, Cam?
Nah, I'll take it back.
It's just going to be the very end. It's our last sprint. I'm going to ask you how many you got, and if you do not get that many, I'm just booting you. That's it. Okay? What was the number you said? 250?
I think I said 300. No, 250 is fine.
Wait, what? Everyone tell me what you said. Okay, I hope you guys are ready. We're going to get started. On your mark. Get set. Write your words.
Is this like an attempt to distract me or something?
Yeah, it is. And it's working, I can tell.
I gotta get my 300 words, Kate. Okay.
time. All right. That's it. Cam.
Pencils down.
Cam, how many words did you get?
All right, I'll count them up now. Are you like hovering your finger over the button to kick me from the stream?
I am ready.
You seem too keen to.
Look, you're the one who is setting the metric here. I'm just following what you set for the stream.
I think I'm all right. I feel like I got a lot. Yeah, I'm fine. I got 742.
Dang, okay. All right.
When you think about it, because that's double, I should actually get to kick you from the stream now. It's only fair.
Are you able to? Do you have that power?
I don't think I do. Although it seems to keep happening, so.
I know. You know what it is my computer's very touchy, which is usually great, but like if I just barely swipe the wrong thing, all of it goes away and then I'm out. And I'm like, oh, it's fine. 474.
It just knows what the people want to see, obviously.
That's, clearly. 448, 447. Next time, I feel like we'll have to set goals. And if anyone doesn't make the goal, they're kicked. That would be a fun one with Brooke, too. She tends to write a little bit slower. We can be like, sorry, Brooke.
That's so stressful, but that's great.
It is stressful.
Good idea.
That could be part of the game show. I'm bringing it back.
Yeah.
But you set it like 300, and whoever doesn't hit it is kicked. And then you just incrementally raise it as more and more people are kicked until you have
That's a good idea.
The champion. 379, 985. I mean, I saw someone. I'm sorry. Alyssa would be kicked, but also a great icon. So maybe not.
No mercy.
495. Heck yes. Well, okay. As we've been going for 2 hours now, we're going to wrap up really quick. But I will be continuing on Twitch and YouTube at various times. Cam has a second channel, third channel now. You split up YouTube and AuthorTube stuff.
I don't really use the other ones. I pretty much have 2 main channels. There's just one for BookTube, like book reviews and that kind of stuff, and then one for writing, which is this Page Nomad writing one. But I don't know. You can find that stuff pretty easily. But either way, thanks for having me on. It's been a lot of fun. When's your next stream?
It will be in an hour.
In an hour over on Twitch.
Over on Twitch. But I am going to leave y'all with a link because the Troublemakers have their 6-month anniversary stream. It's happening right now. They are very fun. If y'all want more sprints like right now, you should go over there. They're great.
You should link to your Twitch as well.
Oh, yes. Good call.
So people can get their butts over there.
.tv. Good call, Cam. That's
no
me.
worries.
All right. Thank you so much. We will be back together at some point for another Boomer stream. Goodbye.
Hopefully soon.